Hey everybody, what's going on? It's me again, Ed Carvajal, mixed martial arts analyst for frontproofmedia.com. Today's November 30th. I am about to interview the owner and president of Victory Fighting Championships. They've got a lot going on Fight Pass. If you haven't seen them, or you probably have seen them on Fight Pass, they're the guys with the squared cage. And they just had a really good event before Thanksgiving. So we're going to talk about that and the next two events they have planned, because they're doing 3 in a 30-day period. And so I'm looking forward to speaking with the president of Victory Fighting Championships. Ryan Stoddard is his name, so we're really lucky to talk to him. What else happened this week? And hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I did catch the UFC Melbourne card. I mean, I feel like that came under the radar. Maybe everybody was filled up with turkey and tryptophan and stuff, but it was actually the main event, especially Derek Brunson was the favorite, and Whitaker wound up winning. So in his home, I think home field advantage can count for a lot against wins and losses. If you listen to my the previous episode when I talk about the stuff that happened for UFC 205, you'll see what I mean by that. But anyway, talking to Victory Fighting Championships president Ryan Stoddard. Here we go. Okay, all right. So I'm talking with Victory Fighting Championship president Ryan Stoddard. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. I really appreciate it. The coincidence about it is that I had really liked the last VFC 53 event, and I caught it during the last 2 fights, and that's part of your three fights in 30 days promotion you have going. So you're really busy right now.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, this is kind of the calm before the storm. It's honestly just trying to fix some last minute stuff. You know, all the real busy work is taking place already. You know, in September, October, November, just booking everything in advance, trying to get things done. So now it's just staying in touch with the fighters, booking hotels, film video last minute, card issues, so on and so forth. So we're trucking along, and I'm thankful that we got so much done in advance the way we did. Because otherwise, I'd probably be pulling my hair out about now.
It seems like a tough position to be in. I mean, as president of a MMA promotion, but I think the timing is really good. I mean, the sport has grown so much over the years, and you're coming in at a time when it seems like the opportunity for success is there more than it was back in like the days of the IFL and the WFA, when it was more risky to start one. So how did you get involved with Victory? I mean, I was trying to do some homework on you. Did you fought in Victory and then became owner?
No, so I had originally started training years ago after watching The Ultimate Fighter, like a lot of people. You know, I fell in love with the sport. Went to a couple shows, started training, had a few fights, and then for some other shows here throughout the Midwest, and started managing a couple guys that I was friends with, just really for fun, because I had a really good relationship with them, and it was just like a fun, different way to be a part of the sport, and I really enjoyed it. The opportunity to work for Victory came up in 2010, jumped all over it, and then the opportunity came up to purchase it, and jumped all over that, and 6 years later, here I am. The one fight I do have in Victory, I did that as part of a charity thing 2 years ago. We did a deal with Toys for Tots here in town, and I donated all my personal ticket sales, as well as I donated all my personal ticket sales to Toys for Tots, and then I donated my purse to a family so they could have Christmas, and then anyone that brought a toy to the event got a free beer, and it was just a fun thing to do. I always kind of wanted to have one more, and there it was. So it was a very unique, fun experience to promote and fight on the same show. I don't know that I'd ever try to do that again. It was a lot of headache, a lot of work, but I had some really good people around me. that worked for me at the time, and we were able to execute and make it happen. And it was definitely one of the highlight experiences of my career, as well as my life. So tons of fun.
It sounds like, something about this sport, man. I just, I kind of fell into it myself as far as covering media, so I can definitely relate. I mean, it's just something about mixed martial arts that draws people in and builds strong relationships, and if you can turn it into a business, it's really great to hear stories like that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I say this all the time in every interview. I'm a fight fan, so what better job to have every day than to be in the fight business? There are times where it definitely gets tough dealing with all the logistics of shows, or athletes getting hurt, so on and so forth, and it can be a bit much at times, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wake up every day and I get to do what I love, and work with some amazing people, and really one of the highlights for me is helping a lot of these guys achieve their dream of getting to the UFC, and that, to me, to be able to change somebody's life every day is just phenomenal. It's one of the best feelings.
I actually read about that, about how you guys are a good feeder league for the UFC. So, I mean, no surprise that you're on Fight Pass. It's a good way for them to scout talent and for you guys to get talent in there. And, helping people is always rewarding.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, this year alone, Anthony Smith won on our debut show on UFC Fight Pass, and then he got called up right thereafter. Similar situation with Ray Glenn fighting for us this summer and then getting called up. We've been able to do some great things together for some of these guys, and I'm actually going out to Vegas this weekend to watch Anthony fight on the Ultimate Fighter finale, because you develop a relationship with these guys, and you want to see them do well and be successful, and be a part of that journey is a ton of fun. And really you're going to start seeing the new crop of individuals that we're working with start to get picked up within the next year, as we really went out and secured a lot of prospects talent wise, and those are the individuals we really want to take our time with and build them up throughout the Victory brand, versus going out and finding guys that have 7, 8, 9, 10 fights are already there. We want to cultivate that talent from the ground up. A perfect example is a kid like Rafian Stoddard, who is now 7 or 8-0. 8-0. He's had 4 fights with us. Just won the main event on UFC 53. And,
yeah.
Is currently one of the top 135-pound prospects in the world. If you look at his records, his last 4 or 5 fights have all been for us. So there is a method to the madness, and we're trying to find those individuals and work with them, and help them grow in the proper way. But at the end of the day, cream rises at the top. The best guys are going to win, and those are the guys that are going to go to the UFC.
That's great. I mean, and I was actually about to ask about Stotts because, like I said, I had watched that. I actually came home after training, and I caught the co-main in the main event, and it was bittersweet. I mean, it was good watching him get another win on his record, but then with Curran announcing his retirement, getting choked up, that was pretty. It's sad to see. Jeff's a super awesome guy. It's unfortunate that the age catches up to every one of us. Yeah.
For me at 33, from 2 years ago to today, every day when I go to the gym, I wake up with more little things when my shoulder, my back, or my legs every day versus just even 2 years ago. You hit a certain part in your life that your body starts to tell you no. And honestly, Jeff did really well in that fight. Rafian is young. He's extremely athletic. He looked, much bigger than Jeff did in that fight, I thought. He was in every bit of that fight. It just, timing wasn't there. And it goes back to that, age catches up to you.
It certainly does. I'm 41, so I feel it I was feeling it when I was watching that. So the upcoming event, you have December 9th. The next two are actually on Fridays, which I wanted to ask you with 53 and then 54 coming up. on December 9th, and then you have 55 on the 23rd. Those are both Fridays. Do you see any numbers as far as like taking up other parts of the week for combat sports? Because it looks like sometimes you guys can, other promotions and other boxing and kickboxing can run into each other on the weekends. Do you see a benefit of what night?
I try to build things out for the year. In fact, we've already got our 90% of our 2017 schedule already set. So, you're going to battle a million things. There's tons of entertainment out there every day, whether it be football, basketball, MMA, kickboxing. Fridays, Saturdays are obviously always going to work the best. We found a real niche date in the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving that, we had a sold-out show in Waterloo.
Yeah.
So there are times where you'll find certain dates and certain times that'll work well, but for the most part, you're going to rely on those Fridays, Saturdays, and you have to understand that, I don't do any shows around the Midwest during the fall because college football rules everything around here.
Yeah, that's true.
I know that going into those months, so I don't do anything. Versus during the spring, I've gone up against the Final Four. The Creighton University here. They have an amazing basketball team. They've been in the Big East Finals a few times, where I've gone head-to-head with them on the same night, being on TV versus us being here in a venue here in Omaha. So you're always going to battle those things. The best thing you can do is just, do what you do and move forward and try to promote the best possible way, and those results will speak for themselves.
Yeah. The only reason I brought it up was because when I spoke to, I had spoken in the spring with Campbell McLaren about Combate Americas and how they were focusing on Thursday nights and just looking to fill other parts of the week because of the weekend rush of combat sports. So it just seems like a smart strategy, especially for Fight Pass, to try and get more content like during the week for people to watch. That me personally, I don't watch anything. I don't watch football. I don't watch basketball. I only watch combat sports. So
unfortunately for us, we're in a real position where we have to not only sell tickets to pay the bills, but we also have to draw fans on the other side on the televised part. So we've traditionally, consistently here in the Midwest done 3,500 to 4,500 fans in attendance. So I think a lot of that has to do with our brand and our following throughout the Midwest, as well as the athletes we utilize, and really being proactive in getting out in front of things, months in advance and letting people know when your dates are, and making sure that they have ample time to prepare, purchase their tickets, so on and so forth.
Okay. I'm just looking ahead at the schedule. So is Victory VFC 54? You have the two titles on the line for that card. Is that like the peak of these three fights in 30 days? The welterweight and the featherweight titles.
Honestly, our Omaha shows are always our quote unquote tentpole shows. Those are the big ones. But all three of these shows being wedged in between each other, any one of them is going to make for an amazing night. Omaha always seems to be something extra special, whether just due to our fans or our venue that we're in here in town, and just having an amazing atmosphere. The athletes always seem to show up for that one. But those two title fights are going to be unbelievable. And then, really for 55, I think our main and co-main event for those two shows, or for that show, is matched up against the 54. I think it's just as good. So I think we'll see a similar trend in those numbers. And at the end of the day, we're going to 54. We're going to be battling other things, in terms of viewability, with other shows being available. Combat sports wise, whether it be access TV or anything else. But then versus December 23rd, we don't have a ton of competition going into that night. Because it's the night before Christmas Eve. I think a lot of people are going to be at home. They're going to want something to do, and we'll be there for them to tune in and watch an amazing show. Oh
yeah, no, I'll definitely be watching. I actually started following when you guys. We jumped on Fight Pass, so I started watching all the events, and then when you guys got Sean Wheelock on. I mean, I remember hearing his voice watching. I said, "Is that? I know that guy." So I mean, you guys are
one of the best in the business. Couldn't be any happier with him and our other commentator, Joe Wilk, who is a very good close personal friend of mine. Both of them just have incredible knowledge. Joe's learned a ton from Sean, and I've learned a ton from Sean as well. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to get better each time out, and we can constantly improve in our broadcast and add in little things that will consistently help us grow and become one of the best shows in the world.
I definitely love the brand and love following it since I found it on Fight Pass. So I really do appreciate you taking the time to talk, and I'm looking forward. You said you already have 2017 booked. Would you say it's like 8 or 11 shows you do a year, or between 8 and 11 shows?
We did 9 this year. I think we're going to dial back just a little bit 2017. We're going to work on some new markets and focus on some of the markets that we do really well in. Hopefully we really want to make a push into Canada in 2017. So look for that to be in the later half. But it's not going to be the big rush that we had this year, to say the least. But we're going to, make sure we have the same high level of quality of events and people are overly entertained.
I mean, definitely. I know I am. I mean, like I said, I love it. I love the product, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk. And did you say you're 33?
30 what?
You said you're 33 years old?
Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. You're president and owner of a up and coming fight promotion that's doing really well. I mean, I when I was talking with the guys at Front Proof about it, because I'm on the East Coast, I'm in New Jersey, and I compared it to, I know you've heard of Ring of Combat and how a lot of guys came out of Ring of Combat to go into the UFC, and it's been around, I feel like it's been around almost as long as I've been into the sport. And so...
Victory was established in 2002. I bought it in 2010, and here we are. I've been at it 6 years as of this past October, and don't plan on losing any steam.
Man, you know what? I hope I can get out there to the Midwest and watch a show. I mean, I love MMA, like I said, and I'm the East Coast guy. I usually make it to a lot of stuff out here. So thank you for taking the time to talk, and I definitely look forward to what you guys are bringing. And congratulations, too, on all the success, man. You really do put out a good product.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
Thank you for taking the time to talk. Wow, so what a good guy. I mean, stuff like that, talking to someone like him really inspires me just to do well on my own. I mean, just as far as, it goes to show you when you have a passion for something, how rewarding it can be. And if you haven't heard or watched Victory Fighting Championships, I have been watching it on Fight Pass since I got, I think I'm coming toward the end of my Fight Pass. I don't remember when I signed up, but I know I have an extension on it or something like that. Either way, what made me sign up was all these promotions coming in on it, and that's one of the ones that I love to watch. They do a squared cage. I meant to ask him about that. I should have. I like the whole setup. And Rafion Stotts, if you didn't see that, I mean, that guy is 7-0. And when he won against Jeff Curran, I mean, it was a pretty dominating performance. Well, not dominating, because Curran's game, and he's not a slouch. But like he said about age and stuff like that, that does affect guys in the long run. Like we both can relate. So combat sports is definitely a young man's game. So, and Rafion Stotts is coming up on it. So he did call out to be in the UFC, and you may see him in the UFC very soon, especially with a record like that. He's 7-0, undefeated, pro MMA, and the guys at VFC are definitely not slouches. I mean, I saw a lot of finishes there, a lot of impressive fights come from there. So listening to someone like Ryan Stoddard, the president, talk about his promotion, you definitely should give it a watch. So the one with Rafion Stotts, unfortunately you missed, but you can still catch that on Fight Pass, along with VFC 54, which is in Omaha, Nebraska. Like I said, there's 2 titles on the line. That's December 9th. And then you have the 55 event from Topeka, Kansas, and that's December 23rd. And that'll hit you right before the holidays, the way that the 53 did. And if you're a fight fan, it is a great way to enter that long period of time off with the family and stuff. You get your fill in right before it comes in. And another thing about their cards is that they're just the right length. Some people complain, like if there's an FS1 event of the UFC, it's like 6 hours long. And, with all the commercials and stuff, you get tired of it. But the pacing, everything is great. They put out a really great product. So definitely follow Victory Fighting Championships. I think they're on Twitter. The website is victoryfighter.com. And the hashtag is 3 shows, 30 days for these events that we talked about. So be sure and look them up on social media. Thank you again for listening. This will be up along with a companion article over at frontproofmedia.com. And if you'd like to help out this podcast, go over to the blogboardjungle.com, especially when you're making your Christmas purchases through Amazon, and use any of the Amazon links there to make your purchases. It won't cost you a thing other than surfing to another website besides Amazon, just to help out the podcast, and we'll get more quality interviews and stuff like this for you in the future. And if you're if you like Onnit products, make your Onnit purchases over at the blogboardjungle.com as well. So, man, what a great conversation. That really helps me when I talk to people like LC Davis, like I did last week before the holiday, and talking to him, 33 years old, president of a fight promotion, and they're doing more and getting bigger, going to Canada. So, victoryfighter.com, Victory Fighting Championships. Keep them on your radar. We're going to hear a lot from them. And, man, yeah. Once again, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. You have a good weekend. This weekend, what do we got this weekend? We got a lot of stuff coming up. 2 Bellator events, 160. They're back-to-back Friday and Saturday night. I spoke to LC Davis last weekend about his fight that's this Friday with the bantamweight division, which is like a Shark Tank in Bellator right now. It's just all circling that title. And then they have the event on, there's a card change, guys got bumped up. I think there was an injury report, so I'll have that up on Front Proof Media, the updated cards for this weekend's Bellator events. And then you have the Ultimate Fighter. That's the tournament is tonight. If you listen to this, depending on when this episode gets uploaded, you'll either have that you'll either have watched it or be watching the episode, so you'll know who Demetrius Johnson is fighting for his title on Saturday. Again, we got another big MMA weekend coming up, and then next weekend you'll have this Victory Fighting Championship 54, and a bunch of other stuff coming up. So it's a good time. Really is a good time for mixed martial arts and combat sports. Please follow me at Carbazel on Twitter. This is a Carbazel MMA podcast. And for all your boxing and MMA news, go to frontproofmedia.com. Have a good week. Thank you for listening, and be safe.